Hey guys, in this episode of Hymnology, I'm here with Lauren Searles, who will be dropping 3 wisdom bombs. Lauren is a tantric love and sex coach for heart-based centered men to liberate themselves from the nice guy persona and embody their authentic masculinity so they can have soul-satisfying sex. She is also an erotic filmmaker, writer, yogini, hands-on tantric healer, kundalini activator, and revolutionary for a more whole and just world for all living beings. Her new film is Magdalene Remembered. Awesome. Oh, and then for those who don't know me, who might be watching this, I'm Shari James, RN. I help men avoid ED medications, get off of them, or in some cases, get them to work. Well, welcome, Lauren.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Sitting there all purple and beautiful and shiny.
Yeah, it's my home state, my home color, and also my natural hair color.
And it's my birthstone. Like to me, that's like amethyst. All right. So I happen to have wisdom bomb number 1 right here. A man's sexual power and potency is linked to his self-worth.
Hmm.
I would love to hear more about this.
Yes. So when most people and therapists I hear, if you go to an online article, they're like, oh, how do I have better, stronger orgasms? And it's usually they go into a technique like, oh, you need to breathe like this, you need to squeeze your PC muscles, and they go into technique, but they're not going into the deeper neuronal body mind connection of why their sexual power is cut off in the first place. And I've found through the men and clients that I'm working with that it's usually a self worth issue. And that issue began in childhood with the way that their caregivers treated them. So I work with a lot of men who grew up in an environment with a lot of conditional love. So there was always boundaries. Um, their mother or their father was like, I'm going to love you this much, or I'm only going to love you if you contort and fit into the ways that I find acceptable. And
Mhm.
so they have to kind of like morph their sense of self and identity to fit into, some kind of love or belonging with their family. And and that really takes a big hit on their own self-identity and self-worth. And then they become a people pleaser. They become, a nice guy. And they're like, oh, can I just endlessly give out of myself to please a woman? Which kind of sounds at first glance really nice. Like, yay, my man is just going to bend over backwards and do whatever he wants for me. But that eventually is very compromising. And I found
And a turn off
it's a turn off eventually.
eventually.
Eventually. It it is a turn off. And what it means is he doesn't value himself. And it's like,
Yeah.
whoa, we want men that value themselves. We want men that respect themselves and are like, no, I actually can't do this for you. And here's what I need. And normalizing men's needs of like, oh, they have needs too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta have that backbone
Got
and sacred no. And it's such a turn on when you get to bump up against a man and you don't get your way all the time.
Yep. Yeah, as kind of an alpha queen archetype, I I do attract kind of nice guy personas. And I do enjoy a certain level of acts of service. And that is a love language of mine. But it's when it's coming from an empty cup or when it's coming from a not a holistic sense of self-value. And then, like you said, not holding his own backbone, like not holding
Yeah.
self, that it sacrifices something in the relationship and it can sacrifice self-confidence in the bedroom.
Definitely. I find that when it's performative and there's not an authenticity behind it or an energy behind it that we can really feel, and it's coming from that place of performance, it's very hard to receive.
Yeah, it's not going to, they do it to ensure connection. They
Right.
do it so they have more value to you. And if you kind of smell that or sense that underneath, it's not affirming the connection.
Nope. No, because it's not authentic.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
I think we're ready for wisdom bomb number 2.
absolutely. Yes.
All right. Women don't always remember what a man says. They remember how a man makes them feel.
Yes.
I know you and I are tantric bikini material, and it's like we can't not be. And I think the tricky thing for men is Tantra is not necessarily goal oriented. So the male mind typically works on winning and goals. So when we're talking here about, what do you think he's getting out of it? What are you getting out of it? And it feels very balanced. I hope that creates a little bit of curiosity in the listener.
Hmm. Absolutely. So, one of my favorite people to interact with in my community, I live in an intentional community in Hawaii, is I would say he is a little bit of a womanizer archetype, but what he does is he's so good at dropping deeply into presence and connecting with you in that and like holding you in that and being like, Lauren, how are you? And he holds me close and he kind of he kind of like whispers something in my ear and like he's a seducer. He's a total like friendly seducer archetype. And he does this to a lot of women because women actually trust him. He's doing it from not a place of trying to get women in bed, but just like, I'm going to just love up this woman right now and transmit a feeling of romance. And I just went on a first date. It went really well. I liked him. I'm attracted to him. But we talked the whole time. He didn't touch me once. And I'm just kind of like, huh, that's interesting. We said a lot of words, but I can't say that he transmitted a feeling. And it's like women want to feel something. We want to feel enlivened. We want to feel heat in our body. We want to feel arousal. We want to feel more alive. And if a man can learn to drop into embodied presence, like not only in himself, but just kind of going, huh, if I had a superpower and I wanted to make this woman feel a certain way, how would I do that? And get creative. And it takes a certain amount of confidence to be forward with a woman. Like, and there's a lot of not great ways of doing that. So
Yeah.
it takes a lot of attunement. It takes a lot of listening, but that's what is one of my friend's superpowers. It's like he can get close to so many women because he's actually attuning with them. He's actually feeling, he's actually transmitting safety.
Mm.
And he's not coming off as like skeezy. He's just coming off as like, I want to give you something, as opposed to I want to get something from you. And it's magical.
What? Now, this is speculative. What do you think he's getting out of that?
Mm. I mean, he's probably getting something. Yeah.
Getting some Shakti.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those Shakti hits.
Yep. But I'm getting a Shiva hit. So I'm super happy.
So it's a nice mutual exchange.
Hmm.
Yeah, I feel it sounds like it's pretty clean.
Hmm.
Nice. Like non-agenda based.
Yep. Yeah.
Interesting. It's all right. So let's go to wisdom bomb number 3. If a man hasn't reached his sexual potential yet, it's because it's infinite. I
Yeah,
can't wait to hear this.
we can expand into infinite amounts of pleasure, types of pleasure, energy orgasms, activate our Kundalini body. Like pleasure is a gateway to the divine,
Yeah.
to the infinite. And so I think that's what's so intriguing, and that's what draws us towards it. That's why it's such a driving force. Like Eros is this creation life force. And if you're used to a certain type of pleasure or amount of pleasure or pleasure capacity, just know it can be stretched and opened. Just know there's another layer. Just know there's always another level of expansion. And that's why it's important to work with a tantric practitioner, somatic practitioner, coach, dakini, healer, so that you can discover and expand and open yourself to this spectrum, which is just delightfully infinite. And particularly, I'm inviting in the energetic realm because it's unseen and maybe the most difficult for some men to access. And they might not even know that it exists. They're like, what's energy or what's an energy orgasm? Because there's different erotic blueprints and, there might be a sexual blueprint and not be like, oh, there's this other whole realm of, of energy exchange.
Well, and this is 100% the benefit of working with a tantrika. And having them as a guide. So I've always said that, you can read a book about love or you can actually fall in love. And it's a very big difference. So when you are working with a skilled, experienced, seasoned, clean energy tantrika, she can take you to the divine in essence. And I know you and I have taken men there. Like right, this is the deepest level of my work besides, healing ED. And it's it's fun, isn't it, when a man starts to feel, I call it like a relaxed aliveness or a relaxed arousal, like that really beautiful tantric energy building in his body. And he's like, whoa, like I didn't even know this was possible.
I love that you said relaxed aliveness or relaxed arousal because there's sympathetic arousal that is pushing towards orgasm.
Mhm.
And then there's parasympathetic arousal, which is, oh, I can loop this energy in my nervous system over and over again. And I can feel it cycling through my body. And I'm not chasing anything and I'm allowing it to infiltrate, every cell and every neuron and every part of me is being saturated with this erotic energy. And that's what relaxed arousal. And I think it's also inviting men to receive, right? In that sense, they're deeply receiving, which is a whole other reprogramming of like, hey, um, you can receive too. Like they don't always have to be in the giving position. And I think that's a really beautiful, um, unique thing that we offer to men of like, hey, let me
Yeah.
get to you.
And receiving is the fullness of giving, right? It's like you give to the feminine, she recycles it and she expands it and she gives it back to you.
Yeah, that's a beautiful masculine, feminine, divine dance
Dance. Yeah.
feedback loop. Yeah.
Amazing. And when a man is walking around with that energy circulating, it's so attractive to women. I'm sure your clients have commented back to you. My clients have, like, I can barely walk through an airport. I mean, there's just women approaching me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, that's that energy that you've been building. It's very powerful. It's very charismatic in a lot of ways.
Mhm. Yeah. And so is having a high level of self-worth.
Yes.
It's like worthiness, and I'm recycling this tantric energy, and I love and respect myself, and I honor myself. It's like, yes, we want that, and we want that for the men in our lives.
Absolutely. Yeah, we do. Well, unless you have anything else, I feel like those were really powerful wisdom bombs. I feel that we gave men a taste of what's possible that they may not have known is possible.
Mhm. Yes, absolutely.
So, is there anything that you're working on now that you want to promote? I mean, what do you want to call to you?
Yeah. Well, I'm always available for somatic embodiment coaching for men. So you can go to my website, eroticconfidence.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can apply for the Sexually Confident Man program. And it's a 10 series program where I work with you one-on-one over Zoom and give you tantric self-pleasure practices and home play. And you get to feel this energy. Ooh, my ring just dropped. You
The
get to
energy
feel
is rising.
woo! Yes. So where you get to cultivate this energy on your own and expand it in your own body. And you can also apply that to a partnership.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for bringing in the wisdom and the amethyst crystal energy tonight. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It's an honor to be here. Glad to drop a few wisdom bombs and hope to connect with some beautiful men.
Hey, you. Hey, guy, who's learning about sexual health, mixed in with some Tantra, mixed in with some 5 elements of Chinese medicine and some Western medicine. I want to let you know something. I would love it if you would hit my subscribe button and the notification bell. That way, you're going to know when new content is posted every Friday.